Hello, welcome to this week's video. Today, do not go anywhere because I want to compare two of my favourite cameras here today on the channel. We're going to be looking at the Canon R50 from Canon and the Canon M50, which is one of my favourite cameras of all time. So do not go anywhere because today we're going to bring you absolute value, and we're going to start with the R50 and we're going to really dial down into what it can actually do. Is it worth checking out, and is it the camera for you? So just before we carry on, I just want to say that both these cameras are what I would consider video cameras, and you can do photography if you want to, but these are more cameras I'm looking at in a sense of a video recorder, YouTuber, content creator, that sort of thing, or if you literally just want a really good video camera. So the Canon R50 does come with a kit lens, which is an 18-45mm, which is a really nice, really good and low light, recording HD and 4K. And a little thing I want to share with you, so bear this little a fact in mind when we talk about the M50 later. The record limit on the R50 is 1 hour, which is actually twice as long as the M50, so that's something to bear in mind. And you can record in full 4K, say that 10 times fast, and you can really dial down and get some really nice video. Now, what I like about this camera, it does come with a flash, it does come with a viewfinder, and what you'll get in the bag, you'll get a strap, you'll get a battery, you'll get a battery charger, you should get an instruction manual, and obviously depending on what deal you got, obviously you should get the kit lens, which is the 18-45mm, which is great for video and photography. And what's really cool about this camera, it does have face recognition, so it will follow your face or an object around, which is really cool about this camera. And what I love about this camera especially, see if we can find you the right picture, it does have, it won't come up with it, that's funny, it does have a microphone jack, which is awesome because that means you can plug in a clip-on mic or a shotgun mic, and that will really help your performance as a video creator when using this camera. It's very important when you're looking at any camera. If you want to use it in sense of video and you want the best audio quality, as half of all our videos are audio, you want to make sure it does have a microphone jack, and this does. Now, something to bear in mind with both these cameras today, and they do have a slight crop factor, but that can be slightly corrected if you get a bigger lens down the road and that sort of thing. I just thought I'd share that with you guys. Now, it does have an easy record button, which is really cool, so you can just press that and off you go. It has a flip screen. I was trying to find an example. We'll go down and let's see if there's some nice little pictures for you, which I believe there is. So here is the R50 in all its glory. It's a very nice size. It's light and agile. It's about the similar size of the M50, maybe slightly smaller, which is really cool. You can take some great photos with this. You can actually connect it to your phone and transfer photos and videos to your phone, which is really, really cool. Let's see, here we go. So this nice little example for you then. So here you have the flip screen, which will turn all the way around, which is really cool when you're recording yourself. So it's like a selfie screen, like when you're using your phone, for example, back in the day. I know lots of people use their phones now, but I love the cameras. But it's really cool to bear in mind that you do have a camera that does have a flip screen, so you can see what you're doing. And as you can see here, you connect your microphone to it there, connect it to the top, and obviously you can get one of those wind breakers if you're recording outside, just to break that wind so you don't get that annoying noise. Nice little power tip there. A little power tip with any of these cameras today, and don't forget there will be links to both these cameras in the description below. Go and check them out after this video. If you're getting value so far, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget, why not buy us a coffee? Link in the description. So when you connect a microphone to this camera, you can connect it to the top, you can connect it to another tripod, you can have a clip-on mic, a wireless clip-on mic. Bear in mind they cost a little bit more. So there's all these little things you can do, and it's so easy to use. What I love about these Canon cameras is they're so intuitive. Obviously you can play around with the ISO and the shutter speed and the settings of the camera, which is, you know, easy enough to do. But what I like about this, you can just connect it, put it into video mode, connected to your tripod, which I used to call content creator's best friend, because the tripod obviously holds the camera, and just press record and off you go. It's so cool. And a little power tip actually, just before you're recording, if you just press the object, or more specifically your face, it will auto focus on that on your face or the object, so when you're recording, if you're moving around, it will follow you around, and that just makes it a lot more professional, and you don't have to worry about, you know, messing around with focus and all that sort of stuff, which is really cool. We will go into full details what it has. Now, it is a 24.2 megapixel camera, which means it is a little bit better than the M50, so you'll get even sharper photos, and because of the sensor that comes with this camera, you'll get even sharper video. Now, prices are actually quite similar, but we'll get to that later. And as you can see, you can take some really cool nifty photos with this camera. Why would I check it out today? Well, it's easy to use. It's priced at the moment at just under $680, and just bear in mind that prices can change all the time. Link in the description. And what I like about this camera, it's light, it's agile, it's easy to use, and you're future-proofing yourself. So because the R50 is technically the younger brother, the replacement to the M50, it means it has a better sensor, it will do video better, it will perform for longer periods of time in 4K, and obviously more people now are using 4K in the time of this video, and you just want to bear all this sort of stuff in mind, because the R50 is an absolutely brilliant camera, and I can't wait to make more videos with this camera, because it is a camera that is definitely worth checking out. So what are you waiting for? Go and check out this camera. It's absolutely brilliant. Now I just want to look at the little things for you. Now, this camera, the M50 was as well, but this camera has definitely been specifically designed for content creators to make video, recording video as easy as possible, hence with the flip screen, the sensor, the interchangeable lenses, the microphone jack, the easy to use, very easy, friendly interface that comes with it, touch screen. It's just so easy to use. And what's really cool about the R50, it actually has like a little IO sensor, sorry, it does have like a little settings helper, so it'll give you little tips on what to press and what not to do, and you know, if you need help with the camera, it's very intuitive and that sort of thing. It will help you out, and obviously bring to life your videos. Apparently you can do 6K, but you know, there you go, but you can record in 4K up to 30 frames per second. Now bear in mind, for professional frame rate, you will record in either 24 or 30 frames per second, so doing that in 4K is really cool. And obviously in HD you can do up to 60 frames per second, if not higher. So that's something to bear in mind when you're buying this camera. Now I personally still use HD a lot, just because it's easier to edit and it's easier to record with, doesn't take as long, the camera can do it for longer. But obviously if you want to future-proof your videos when you upload them to YouTube, or you just want the best quality possible, you know, more and more of us, you know, 4K is pretty much the standard nowadays really. So this camera does all that, and bear in mind it does it for an hour. I know I've already said that, but I just want to emphasize how cool this camera is. Easy to use, off you go. Now a little thing I'd definitely recommend, if I haven't said it already, is don't forget to get a spare battery. Now if you haven't got a spare battery, or for whatever reason you forget it, don't worry. A little power tip I'll share you guys is, when you're not recording, I know it sounds obvious, but I've done this loads of times, just turn it off and only turn the camera on when you're using it. It will save all the settings if you've only just turned it off, and it's really helpful to know that, because by doing this little technique, by turning off the camera when you're not using it, the camera battery will last longer, and you'll be quite surprised how long these batteries last. But you know, best case scenario, take a spare battery just in case. Now, before we crack on, I just want to show you something briefly from me. So if you're getting value from this video and you're enjoying the content, please give us a like and a share, and subscribe to this channel. And you know what, let's just crack on with the video. Alright, so don't forget to like and subscribe. I need a glass of water. Honestly, if you've got any questions about the R50, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. Now, we're going to go over to the, as it is a versus video, we're going to go over to the Canon M50, which for those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, you'll know is one of my favourite cameras of all time, just because I've made so many videos with it. Now, the Canon M50 comes with a 15-45mm. It does have interchangeable lenses, it does have the crop again, it can only record for half an hour, but just bear this little thing in mind. When I do like a heads video or normal video, you know, even if I'm just straight out recording like I'm sort of doing now, that I'm using the webcam in a minute, but just bear this little thing in mind. If you're recording a clip, and then a clip, Maybe you're recording multiple clips because you're filming your intro, or you're filming your, the main part of the content, or you're filming an object, or whatever it is that you're filming. You're probably not going to record for 30 minutes unless you're interviewing someone, or I don't know, you're somebody that rambles even longer than I do. So just bear in mind, so even though the M50 only records for 30 minutes without stopping, just bear in mind that that will probably be more than most people need, unless you plan to, do gaming video or walkthroughs, or you're going to be talking for like 3 hours or something like that. So that's something to bear in mind. Now, it does have a touch screen that flips around so you can see what it's doing. Sorry. Value. It is a touch screen, very easy to use. The settings are easy to use. Now with this camera, you can play with the shutter speed and the ISO, and just like the R50, it's great at taking video, great at taking you can take some really nice photos with this camera, and I've done it for both. Now when you get this camera, it will come with a battery, a strap, a battery charger. Depending on the deal, sometimes you get a bag, but don't hold me to that. It should come with a 15-45mm, unless you want to save yourself money if you've already got the lens for it. But if this is your first camera, and with both these cameras, I haven't actually told you this yet, but you can get them in white or black, whatever you'd rather. I sometimes find that white is cheaper, but I have both in both, if that makes sense. And what I like about this, again, it does have a microphone jack, which is very, very helpful. So again, like the other camera, we can attach a microphone to it to improve audio. And with a shotgun microphone, you don't get an annoying noise. Now both these cameras do have internal microphones, so that's perfectly fine if you're recording inside, or it's not windy, or if you just haven't got round to buying a microphone yet. But for best audio quality, I cannot stress it enough, you need a clip-on microphone or a shotgun microphone, and honestly it will massively improve your audio, which will improve your video. Now let's just have a look at little pictures to see if obviously it has a flash, has a viewfinder. Obviously you can just put it into auto mode, you can put it in photo mode, put it in video mode, you can just press the button, and a bit like with the R50, but obviously it might not do it quite as well. You can actually, before you press record, you can tap on your face and it will autofocus your face and it will move around with you, which is something really cool. And what I like also about this camera is I just love this lens. Now the R50 is seen to be a very good camera in low light, but I've also found that the M50 also does this. So you're probably thinking, what's the difference, Dave? Well, funny enough, there isn't much difference in the price. This is $623 today. Bear in mind it can vary. We've got links to both these cameras in the description, but bear in mind, if you just want a really good camera, I would still recommend the time of this video the M50. But obviously if you want to future-proof yourself, you want to record in full 4K, you want even better video, you want the best photos you could possibly take without spending thousands of pounds on the best camera in the world, obviously the R50 is the one you want to go and check out. But if you just want a really good all-round camera that does everything really well still, there's nothing wrong with still checking out the M50, because now they tend to sell the Mark II. And a little power tip that you may or may not know, the difference between the M50 Mark I and Mark II really is the fact it has what they call clean HDMI, which basically just means you can connect a HDMI to the camera, to your computer or laptop, and you can stream with it. Where on the Mark I, it used to come up with the settings of the camera, and that was quite fiddly to try and work out how to get rid of. Now it does have an easy to record button, just like the other one. Has it in a different place, so it depends on what you're preferring. So it might be worth checking out, going to a camera shop and maybe holding both of them and seeing what you prefer, because no doubt they'll both be there. And obviously there it is, the flip screen. Little power tip on the M50 especially, I massively recommend turning the screen facing you before you attach the microphone, because I've just found if you don't, and then you attach the microphone and then try and turn the screen, this is probably with both of them, you might damage your microphone jack. You don't want to do that, obviously. You don't want to do that. But I love the feel of this camera. Now it is slightly bigger, but there's not a massive difference in size. And let's just have a look at what it says it can do. Now this is actually a 24.1 megapixel, so it's not quite as good as the R50. Obviously the sensor isn't quite as good, but it does shoot 4K video up to 30 frames per second, and it records HD apparently to 60 frames per second, but I have noticed if you dial that down to like old school HD, you can sometimes push it to 120 if you want slow motion. But it definitely advertises 60 frames per second, so bear that in mind. And it does streaming, you know, via capture card, like I was saying earlier, so it's clean HDMI. And obviously to improve the video, it does have an internal microphone, but again, like I was saying, definitely check out some sort of microphone and a tripod and a spare battery, but I won't go through all that again for you. And let's see what is cool. So here he is. There's a guy that thinks he's me. Look, there he is with his hair and the glasses. And obviously what's really cool about his camera, now the R50 definitely does this better, but what's really cool about his cameras is you can get what's called depth of field, so you can focus on a particular object and you get that really nice blur effect. And when you're recording video, obviously you just got to make sure that you've got a big enough room or outside, and in theory you can do the same, but sometimes you have to get you have to play around the settings or get a different lens, but you can do that as well. But there it is in all its glory. I love the M50. I don't care what anyone says, it's still, at the time of this video, it's still one of my favorite cameras. I originally had the Mark 1, which is my favorite camera ever, just because I used it for about 2 or 3 years non-stop for week after week of video creation, and I love this camera. And here it is, how you want to see it, sort of how I would have it. So you got your, you know, your screen dialed in, you've got your microphone connected to the top. Obviously if you're recording yourself, you want the screen facing you. Let's see if they do. There we go. So there's the me wannabe. So you might want it dialed in with a screen looking at you. I personally have it sort of horizontal rather than vertical like it's showing there, but you know, it depends on what videos you're doing. He's obviously trying to record a short, so that's interesting. And I believe it is also wireless, so you can actually connect your video, you know, your camera to your phone, for example, so you can upload your videos to YouTube and Insta and X and all the rest of it, which is really cool, and it does take really nice. Now I personally say both these cameras are great cameras for content creation, and I'm gonna say I still love the M50, but obviously, you know, for you guys, I'm gonna recommend the R50 just because if you want to future-proof yourself, you want the best 4K, you want that hour-long record limit over the 30-minute with the M50, and you just want a camera that can record better in HD, record much better in 4K, and just an all-round better camera, then the R50 is the camera to go. Here it is, look, in all its glory. Absolutely beautiful camera, and it looks really nice as well. I love the fact that it has the easy record button, and it's just a really nice all-round camera. Now if you've got any questions about the M50, the R50, please put them in the comments below. And just before I say anything else, I just want to say, if you didn't know already, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content for the best cameras for content creation and filmmakers and all that sort of jazz. So if that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, in a moment, I'm going to leave 2 end cards that are going to bring you even more value. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.